What's up, guys? Today we're checking out this dual 12 Skar EVL preloaded box package. This is a very popular sub. I mean, I've heard them before and they were decent, but it's been a couple years, so I decided to go ahead and do a review and refresh my memory, because I test so many subs that sometimes I need a refresher just to get it in my ear again, you know, the sound characteristics and what they're all about. So this is the dual 12 EVL box. So these are dual 4s finaled at 1 ohm. This box is 5/8. I calced it and verified it. It is 32 hertz with all displacements, and it is about 1.9 cubic foot per sub. So it's a nice box. It's 5/8. It would have been nice if they used 3/4, but specs wise it's a good box for 212s, being almost 2 cubic feet per sub, 32 hertz. The port area is kind of small, which for sound quality you actually go less port area. So this port is 2.5 inches wide by 14.5 inches tall. Some guys would say that's, you know, you need that for one sub, but again, for sound quality you don't need like the 24 square inches, you know, for, you know, that a lot of people say. But that's up to you guys. I'm just telling you what it is. You got your normal spring terminals. It is a slanted box. Skar gives you those dimensions. It's a flared port with the screen, and it has bracing in the port. So it's a pretty nice looking setup. And you got your 2 Skar EVLs in there, glossy cones, high roll surround. But it's a pretty nice looking box. Now there's a debate going on. Some guys say, you know, these are great sound quality subs. Some guys say they're SPL subs. And to be honest, when I listened to one a couple years ago, it was 110, and then I also listened to the 8. So I needed again to refresh my memory and actually listen to 212s, because a lot of stuff I run is 212s, so it makes it easier for me to compare with the dual 12 setup, because that's what I'm so used to running in my daily driver. So okay, let me go ahead and get these things out of the box, and I'm going to show you guys the inside of the box and the subs. But I will put the box specs up here so you can see that it's tuned right about 32 hertz. I did calc the box out, so like I said, the specs are pretty good. And also, here are the TS parameters for these 12-inch dual 4 EVLs, because as I try to tell you guys, a lot of the factory spec TS parameters are pretty far off. Some are more than others, but I always do that on my subwoofer reviews now, so you guys can have accurate TS parameters. And as you'll see, these are a pretty high Q woofer, because I noticed they're not very stiff, but yet they have like 25 millimeters of excursion. So that's because they move pretty freely. They're not too stiff. So all right, let's get these things out, and I'll have you check out the box. All right, guys. So here's the subs out of the box. So these are the EVL 12-inch dual 4s. Black painted magnet, rubber bumper. The boxes kind of hit the bumper because they rub against the brace right on the edges. So sometimes if you guys have those in for a long time and pull them out, you might see the bumper like a little bit tweaked. That's why. It adds support, and I'll show you the box here in a minute. So really heavy duty connectors. You can definitely fit 2 10 gauge in there, or maybe even 8 gauge. That's nice. They give you a big enough spring terminals. Pretty beefy webbed basket, high roll surround, big dust cap, gloss finish. And let's see, it does have a spider hold down ring. It has round tinsel leads, but they are pretty beefy, so I'm sure that's fine. and they use Skar's signature red color spider. So pretty beefy. They use these two spacers for the magnet. I think this is why they added bracing in the box, to add strength, because those spacers, with the weight, the magnet puts a lot of force on those, so I'm sure they put those bracing supports in the box for that reason. But overall, I mean, it's a nice looking sub. Skar is always pretty good quality. So let me show you guys the box now with the subs out, so you guys can see what's happening in there. Alright, so here is the box taken apart so we can see how it's built. So sorry about the light. I want you guys to see, but it's kind of hard, so I had to use a flashlight. So this is 5/8. It's double faced, but it is 5/8, which I don't know why on these subs they didn't use 3/4, but it does have bracing in it, as you can see, and it does have corner bracing. It's hard to see. Sorry again for the light. So it has bracing, so that helps out, but still I wish they would have used 3/4, especially because these subs are pretty high power, high excursion subs. But one thing to note, this bracing, see those black little tabs? That's actually like foam tape, and these EVLs sit tight up against that foam tape, and what they did that for is to support the magnet. So if you're going to try to use this box with a different sub, that may interfere. Okay, the other thing I don't really like about that support is it pushes on the rear rubber magnet a little bit, so over time the rear magnet bumper gets a little bit tweaked from having pressure against it. But so it's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing, I guess. It's supporting the woofer, but I don't really like that. But it just sucks, because if you were going to use this box for something else, it is partially lined with polyfill. Okay, and the port has a divide support, so that's bracing, and it is flared out, as you can see, so it's not straight. So the port actually technically doesn't start until that's that edge right there where it's square, because the port actually needs to be uniform the whole way, and that's the only length that you count. So, but there it is. I mean, it's a well-built box. It's just 5/8, and I don't know if that brace will interfere with, you know, any other sub. You just have to double check that. But so there's the guts of it. I just wanted to show you guys that, if any of you guys were curious. I did calculate this box out, and the port is uniform all the way down. A lot of cheap boxes, let's say the port, you know, like on this one, is 2.5 inches wide. On the L would be like 2 inches or 3 inches, and that screws up the whole port tuning. In a lot of cheap boxes, they do that. The port needs to be uniform all the way down to the back and the L port. So now if it has a flare, that's different, but I'm just saying the whole length of the port needs to be uniform besides the flare. So alright, so there's the inside of the box. I just wanted to show you that, so let's get back at it. Oh wait, and I did verify, this is 4 cubic feet with bracing displacement, so 2 cubic feet per sub, and it is 32 hertz, so it is pretty accurate on the specs, so that's good. Alright guys, so we got these two Skar EVL 12-inch subs. These are dual 4 ohm, so these are finaled at 1 ohm, and we're running some good Korean power that's clean, 3,000 watts to this pair of subs. So let's get it going. You guys can see what these things do. It's a pretty nice box for a prefab setup. It's not super heavy duty, but it obviously seems to do the job. But I think they should have used like at least 3/4. I think this is just 5/8. But all right, let's get it cranked up, and you guys can see what these things do. some sweeps. It's 20 hertz. It's 20 hertz. Alright, so there you have it. These things are pretty loud. They do sound good, but I'll go ahead and give you the full rundown and my in-depth opinion on these when we get back to the shop. So hang tight. Okay, we're back. What do you guys think? What do you think I'm gonna say? I'm pretty picky, so I always kind of give you guys all the little bits. And you got to remember, I'm not bagging on anything, but every sub is different. And honestly, I do believe there is no perfect sub because there's a trade-off. You know, some are tighter. You know, some have a higher Q. Some are a little looser. Some play lower. Some play tighter. It's very hard to get the perfect sub. So when I tell you these things, don't take it like a hit. But I'm just describing for you guys so you can make a decision on what these sound like. But in my opinion, they are good subs. They sound good. They have excellent transient response. Again, the cones keep up with fast kick drum and everything. They do not get sloppy. They're not boomy. There's a little bit of resonance once in a while at lower volumes at certain frequencies, but it's not bad. But they're pretty loud. They move a lot of air. They got a lot of excursion, which I figured because they're higher Q. They're not as tight, so there's the motor and the spider's not fighting itself, so they really throw out pretty good. I noticed they don't go as low as like a lot of the 12s. They play the notes, as you can see in the video when I was doing the sweeps. They play 20, but it's not as loud. Like my American Bass XRs, the low end is louder, and even actually the Skar SVRs, they're not as expensive of a sub, but they hit those lower notes louder. But these are very accurate. They're punchy. These are not slappy, but they're punchy. They do good with rock music, even heavy metal, rap. Obviously they do good, but they're just a good sounding speaker. You really can't go wrong for like $530 for two high quality 12s in a decent box. So you know, great deal. They sound good. Like I said, the pros of these are they have good transient response. They're pretty accurate. They're not sloppy. They sound good with all types of music. They just lack a little bit on the low stuff. Some guys won't care. Some guys will. But great overall sub. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. And until next time, thanks guys.